Alright guys, so yesterday I shot a few videos and, or earlier in the day I shot a few videos and they ended up being basically clipping a subwoofer, how not to clip a subwoofer, ways you can clip a subwoofer. I know it didn't actually show up on the SMD probably, but it's the same thing. If you're underpowering a subwoofer or not giving the subwoofer as much power as it needs and you're adding bass to it, that's dirt. Any kind of dirty power is clipping your subwoofer. And if the voice coil is getting hot from you running your subwoofer, you're clipping your subwoofer, and that's how you're going to blow your subwoofer in the end. And the end could come a lot sooner than you think it's going to come. So I'm going to make these videos here. I'm going to actually add in another amplifier into the mix. And I have the Scar SDR that I wanted to demo yesterday. We're going to add that into the mix also. And basically it'll be like a Sundown E12 versus SDR versus the amplifiers. And I'm going to show you how not to clip your speakers, because you don't want to ruin your investment. Alright.
Third time's a charm.
Okay, so this is take 3. I don't know what's going on with my camera now. I recorded one and it cut off at Sundown versus Scar Audio SDR, Sundown E12 versus SDR.
Investments.
So then we shot another video and I don't even know where that one went because it wasn't even there. I just checked it. So here we are again. I'm just gonna make a long story short.
For real. We're doing the same thing as last video.
We're gonna add another amplifier into the mix. Let me see if it's still recording here. Okay.
Alright, we're good. So we're doing Sundown E versus SDR 12E, clipping versus no clipping. So without further ado,
I'm gonna use the Power Acoustic Razor on the SDR. I'm gonna use the Taramps on the SDR. And I'm going to add in a 400 or 500 watt amplifier that most people tend to use for their car because it's a $100 amplifier and you can turn up the bass knob and you can turn up the gain and it makes it move just like that 1000 watt amplifier is going to make it move. But
we're going to show you always trust those $100 Walmart amps.
We're going to show you what clipping is. We'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Alright, I just wanted to get a little quick shot. We're going to do this is the Scar SDR 12.
Their most budget banging
D2.
Dude, I think I would actually
wired
recommend
to 1 ohm.
anyone to sub, to be honest.
D2, wired to 1 ohm. Actually, both of these speakers are great speakers. The only thing about the SDR, but honestly, guys, what I'm showing you right here in this video, if you do what I'm telling you in this video, it's not going to happen because I've seen these speakers, people blow them and they get hot, and I'm telling you this is how they're getting hot. People are clipping them and they're giving them dirty power, and that's why they're blowing.
Even on that comment I made, people are like, I blew them with too much power.
I just saw that.
Well, you don't need these.
And the bass heads form
subs, and you don't
Facebook.
need that much power. Like if you're looking to get a sub that is obviously, I know some people look for SPL kind of subs, but like that doesn't need 1,000,000 watts of power. This is probably the perfect bet you can go. I mean, the difference between these subs is, I guess, quality and power consumption. The E up here can take, you know, probably like 2,000 watts easy, but the quality of the
dyno.
Yeah, the quality of the sub made is high quality parts, and it's amazing. This has good parts, but it's obviously not as high quality with, you know, if you look at the actual parts within, but you can't give it 2,000 watts constantly because it's just going to blow.
As long as you're giving it clean
So this is the point of the video. Clean power versus dirty power. Two very
It's not going to heat up.
Yeah.
And you're going to have your investment stay invested, and you're going to have your bass stay in your car, and you won't be negative bass.
Exactly.
Alright, so we'll be right back. I'm going to get the amplifier plugged into the SDR, and we're going to get her going. Alright guys, welcome back. I'm going to move this back a little bit so you guys can see more of the speaker. There we go. And for some reason when I turn the camera on, it shrinks like to
Yeah,
a
like
16 whatever view, 16:9 view, is it?
I think so. We'll go from a 16:10 to 16.
Yeah. I don't know why. And you can't really see the speaker. And now this just keeps. There we go. All right. All right. So we got. So I'm kind of glad we chose these two speakers because they're actually very close in running. A lot of speakers that you wire to 1 ohms run at like 4 ohms, 5 ohms, and these two speakers run just above 1 ohm to 2 ohms, maybe 3 ohms max. All right, so we're doing all right so far. Now this is on the Power Acoustic Razor. Go a little bit more power there. So we got 308 watts, I think there, 386. Now you can feel it, it's pretty intense. That's because there's gain and power on the amplifier. Now let's try one more, see how it sounds. Now that's even more intense. You can see it even harder. It's blowing a lot of air out. And I mean a lot of air out. What are we getting for power now? So now we're up in the 500-600-ish. Alright, I think we gotta back up. I'm gonna do this again. Alright, here we go. And now you'll notice one thing on here. I'm going to turn it down for a second. As I raise the volume and I gave it more power with this particular amplifier, the ohms went up. And with the Sundown, it did the opposite. And I think with the Taramps, you're going to see it do the opposite. The ohms are going to go down and the power is going to go up. Not with this. With the power went up and the ohms went up. So that's just a general idea that you'll probably start clipping your speaker. So let's see if it's warm to the touch yet. Alright, not really warm to the touch, still good. So we're going to go back up. I want to see what we're peaking out for power here. 559. 572. Ooh, 598. 613. 621. 643. And this is blowing a lot of air out too.
Oh yeah, wow.
Like a lot of air.
Make my hand flip.
For being in a little box with a small port. Alright, want to pause it? Just want to check the...
I don't know if I smell anything.
Now it's no, you don't smell anything, but it's starting to heat up a little bit.
The box has a smell because it's not really used.
Let's just get a base temperature here. That's from yesterday, the 105. That's not this. So 97.4, that's probably room temperature. So go ahead.
Yeah.
That's probably room temperature. Start over.
Yeah, it was almost at the end of it.
Oh. $676. Now, I don't think I'd go much more than this is already going right now. Because this is really beating hard. And you wouldn't be playing songs like this is playing right now in your car. Unless you were playing like a bass boosted. And that's where you got to be careful with them bass boosted songs.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm going to let it run through this next segment here. Alright. Let's try that again.
Might have COVID now.
Off. No, not off. On. Come on.
So, is this the Dirty Power one?
The mid dirty.
I was gonna say the mid because.
Now you can see the temperature went up there. It's still going up. Still going up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it went up. Yeah, it's still going up. Still going up.
The heat's rising from the coil, I'm guessing. Like it's just.
It's still not even done yet. Yeah, we really showed you it was 97.9.
Wow.
And this is how you blow your subwoofers, guys.
Yeah, and you know, if it's in your trunk, you have no idea.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that it was doing this.
Yeah.
And we're still climbing.
Yeah. And guys, this is just playing it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't even get to the store yet.
Yeah, exactly. And imagine you were playing a bass
And it's
boosted
still
song.
climbing.
Really? Is there going over 100?
109.2.
109?
2.
Wow. Does that beep every time it goes up?
I think it just beeps to let you know that it's still taking a temperature.
Oh, it's taking COVID.
Yeah. I'd say this Scar sub has COVID right now.
100%.
Yeah, it should be hospitalized.
Give it a mask.
All right, so I think we peaked at 109.2 degrees here. So it definitely has a temperature. It's COVID certified. She's going to the hospital. But guys, in all honesty, in 5 more minutes, you would have blown your subwoofer in your car. And it's that easy. All right, so I'm going to shut this down now. The dyno's already off. I didn't even realize that. I'm going to plug in another amplifier here. And we'll be right back, guys. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. All right, guys. So welcome back. I have the Harmony Audio. I'm just going to show you real quick. The Harmony Audio HA 400.1. Right here, that's what's wired up right now, 400.1. So I've already had to, I don't know what's under there, it just did it right there, you saw it. I'm gonna have to check the dyno out, but it's clipping out and shutting off. I don't know at which point it's clipping out. I don't know if the ohms are dropping too low. It's supposed to be a 1 ohm amplifier. So I figured this would be a good test for this sub and this amp. Because it doesn't even drop below 1 ohm. And there's no way possible this is using my power supply because it's not even touching my power supply. And this is exactly when you start giving it dirty power. I want to show you guys something else too. I have never even seen this before. But let's see. Hold on, I gotta back this up here. Alright. Okay, now watch the sub after it hits the bass note. You can see the sub kind of rise. You see it? Look at that. I've never seen that before. Ever. I don't even know what that is. Look at that. I don't know. The subwoofer is like after it beats, it looks like it's settling back into itself or something. I don't know. I've never seen anything do that before ever. And it does it every single time after it beats. Look at that. I'm glad I got this on camera. No, it's not broken. There's nothing wrong with it. It's got to be something with the amplifier. Look at that. Every time. Alright, so I'm going to put this back. Yeah, that's something I have never seen ever. Alright, so I'm going to give it one more shot of power here. There it goes. Just popped off. So you guys saw that. I don't know what the hell that is. Alright, so I just wanted to make sure I got all this on camera. And we're apparently, you can see we're not going over the power or anywhere close. So we'll be back, guys. I'm going to try a different amp and see if I can get different results with a different amp. So we'll be back. We'll be right back, guys. All that wiring I just did for that. But I'm glad I got that movement because I wouldn't have had that either. So that's cool. Alright guys, so welcome back. So I have the Kicker ZX 400.1 here.
It's like an OG amp.
This I'm trying to get the clip light to come off on the SMD. I'm not trying to damage the speaker. I'm just trying to get it to clip. And I can't get it to clip. On the Power Acoustic, on the Taramps, I started shooting a video. Actually, it was a short with the Kicker, and it, I don't know if the amp got too hot, or it was putting out too much power, or the ohms went too low and it was putting out too much power, or it was a faulty fuse, because I pulled out the fuse. Actually, I have the fuse in hand here.
Oh, you do?
Oh, kept it. So here's the fuse. So this was, obviously they were both in the amplifier, but when I pulled the fuse out, this was still in the amplifier. The metal piece here. So it did burn out, but I don't know if it burnt out was because it was faulty or what. But I'm gonna try to push this again, and I want to see what kind of power I can get out of it, because I was really getting really good power out of this 400 watt amp at under 2 ohms, and the amplifier's rated for only 2 ohms. Alright, so let's see what we can get here. We're getting 300-ish watts. 300 watts, 300 something watts I saw. And you can see it's under the 2 ohm load there. I don't know how far it dropped. So let's go up one more volume here, see what that does. Let's see what we got here. So 472 I saw. 487. Ohms aren't dropping much. Just under 2 ohms. Alright, let's go back. I want to know if it was a faulty fuse. and I actually put in a smaller fuse than it had in the amp. The amp had a 40 amp fuse, and I put in a 35 amp fuse. 542 I just saw on the dyno there. There's over 500 watts 3 times I saw. And this is a 400 watt amp. 495. And when it's hitting that, I think it's still over 2 ohms, so it's not even dropping below that 2 ohms, hitting over 500 watts. So this is a phenomenal amplifier. Very powerful for its time and day. And we're not clipping. The subwoofer actually sounds good. It's really moving really nice. All right, let's well, I'll let it run through, and then I'll take a break and take its temperature. See if it got hot at all, or here, let's try and see if it's warm at all. It is a little bit warm. So we got 96.8, 97.2. Seems like it's stuck at that 97.2. So that's really not that bad. It has a smiley face, so that's good. Alright, so 97.2 right there. Alright, let's go on. Oh, the dyno went off. Let's put it on dyno mode here. And see what we're getting for, oh, if you see that 914 volts, I'm actually running, a 9 volt, I forget what the heck it's called. I don't use a 9 volt battery in the dyno. So there we go. We got 562. 562 at 2.2 ohms. So it's still not dropping below that that ohms. So now I did, since the fuse blew, I think it was a faulty fuse, honestly. That's what I'm thinking at this point. Because everything's running nice and clean right now. I'm not having any issues. And I had somebody also mention in a comment, Mark Gordon 8146, he said that my dyno wasn't fluctuating. This is in dyno mode. In dyno mode, it does not fluctuate. It only moves up. The ohms will change and the power will change depending on what's happening. If the power goes up, and the ohms doesn't matter really, but the power going up will change the multimeter. And the ohms will change with that if they changed. So that's how this has the 2 functions when you're doing live testing. It has the live power that it shows you fluctuating, and then it has dyno mode, which it's in right now. Alright, so I'm gonna switch back up to the Taramps on the Scar and see what happens. Alright, so we'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere, stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back. Alright, so now I have the Taramps HD 3000. So I have tested the Power Acoustic Razor 2500. We're on the Taramps HD 3000 right now. And we did the Kicker ZX 400.1.
That's it.
I did do the Harmony audio. I'm going to add that into this mix also. But I think something's wrong with the amplifier, and I think that's why it was cutting out
doing some weird stuff.
Yeah, and it was also like making the subwoofer, like after it bass hit, it would like settle down, and I've never seen that ever.
It almost actually settled up. I think it floated. It came back.
Yeah,
up.
it looked like it was floating.
It was like pulsing.
Almost. It looked weird.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything do that on an amplifier before, and the amplifier cut out on us.
Yeah.
So we're back with the SDR. I'm trying to get this to clip. That's the whole point. I'm showing you guys what heating up a subwoofer does and how you blow your subwoofer very easily. And if it's in your trunk, it's gonna blow before you know it, and then you're gonna be like, why do I have no bass? That's why. And it can happen really fast from, you running to the store to get a pack of cigarettes or your vape machine or whatever, you're going to get some gas, whatever you're running to the store for. It can happen that quick in 5 minutes. You go ahead. So here we go. I might try to turn the amp down a little bit and turn the audio device up a little bit so we can get some more power. So we've got 1370 something watts there. I think that's what he was saying, it was hitting a minute ago. 1300 watts.
Yeah, it was doing around 1300. Now, guys, that's automatically over the max rated for this.
And we're gonna
the reason
see
we're showing.
if this heats up the same way the kicker did and the same way that the Power Acoustic did. And this is 100% clean power that it's giving it right now. 1214 watts.
No clipping. Or on the amp either. Amp doesn't say it's clipping.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. So the amp has a clip light on it, right on the amp. And the SMD has a clip light on it. So they both have clip lights.
The amps are usually more sensitive though.
Yeah, the amps are usually a lot more sensitive than the SMD is.
Which is why always listen to your stuff rather than just listen. I mean, I don't know. Amps, I feel like if you just go by what it's just clipping and you're barely giving it what it can actually do.
And we're going to do a temp test after this goes through this series here to see how the subwoofer's doing on temperature wise, because it's getting nice clean power right now, and that's the goal. So even though the Power Acoustic was doing 600 watts, which is actually the RMS power of the subwoofer got to 110 degrees, and that was in under 5 minutes. So we're gonna have this going for about 5 minutes on this power, which is technically up to 3000 watts, and see where it sits temperature-wise then.
And it sounds a lot better on this amp. It sounds different on every
Oh
amp.
yeah, it sounds definitely different from the Power Acoustic to the kicker to the Taramps. So getting clean power to your speaker is definitely vital. All right, we're at the break. All right, you can pause that. Let's check our temperature here. Let's see if it's really not even warm.
Wow. Oh yeah, you're right.
It's barely warm. And we just had this beating
Harder,
yeah, getting twice as much power as the Power Acoustic was, and it's still not even hot. It was reading 97 degrees after like 30 seconds.
Was this like 8? Not even.
It's not even 97 degrees.
Yeah.
So definitely showing you that when you're clipping your sub, you don't even have to be clipping it, like technically clipping it, just giving it dirty power. That's enough. Giving your subwoofer dirty power, using bass boost on an amplifier to try to get your subwoofer to move. Okay, so now we're at 97.2 degrees. But you easily saw with the Power Acoustic, we shot up to 110 degrees. And I don't even know how high this thermometer goes. So we're at 97.2 degrees. So we're gonna let the speaker go for another few minutes here on the same beat that it's at right now. I'm gonna let it keep beating at the same beat. And see what it does after beating it for another 5 minutes or so. Let me get that back on for you guys. And if you guys haven't heard before, I don't use a battery in my SMD. That's why it always reads over 9 volts. I don't know. I think I put it on dyno power. That's all right. We'll let it run on dyno power for a minute. Oh, that camera just shut off.
Oh, the SMD camera shut off.
I know. All right, guys. We'll be right back. I'm gonna reset cameras here. Hey guys, so welcome back. I don't remember exactly where I got cut off in the video, so I'm just going to continue along where I think I was cut off. I think I was measuring the temperature of the subwoofer. Now I've had this going now, running like this, not too much, and I've had it going between the two. This volume right here, this is a break-in cycle that I used to break in subwoofers. I've had this going for about 10 minutes now. So why don't we measure the heat right now. So it was 93 before. So we got 95. See if it's hot to the touch. No, it's not really hot. 97 degrees. 97.2. I think that was because the air was moving and the subwoofer was actually moving. So 97.2. And I've had it going for quite a few minutes. So we're going to run through some more tests here. I'm going to let it beat a little bit on this. And see what it does. And maybe go to another subwoofer. Alright, let's see what we're getting for power there. It's 440. Watts. Alright, so we can go one more up easy. Almost 1,000 watts. 1,213 watts. $1,700 watts there. Alright, let's see what we got here. Woo. It's really beating. See where it had power there. Almost 1,300 there. $1,030. Alright, let's see if we can get a temperature reading now.
I think they saw my comment on Indeed and they said, what's your number? They can't see my name. So they must be
97, 7 is staying pretty. 97.9. So 97.9 there on the reader. Alright, let's go back a little bit. Get here. Does it get any better? Or I wonder if we'll get any better. A high mark. 1500, almost 1600 watts. This thing's beating too. This is where it usually peaks out right here. 1755.
Yeah.
1575 there. 1438 or so, I think. It's 1300, 1200. This is just to show that when you use clean power, you can really let it beat. Not have to worry too much about the subwoofer heating up because it's getting cool air as it's moving. And it's not overheating from giving it dirty power. You're not giving it dirty power, you're giving it nice clean power. Not bass boosted power. Alright, so we've had that going for a good 6 minutes, plus what I had it going for the 10 minutes prior. Let's see what we're at here. So it's a little warm. So 100 and... Let's see if it's warm to the touch. Yeah, a little bit. It's not bad. I think that's about the top there. 106 degrees. So as you can see, it got a lot hotter with just using the I'm gonna shut this camera off now. It got a lot hotter using the Power Acoustic and the kicker amplifier than it did using the Taramps, giving it more power and clean power. So that just goes to show that when you're giving it clean power, not bass boosted power, it's a different kind of power, and it's not going to get as hot, and it's not going to heat up to where the voice coils are going to give up on you or burn out or be destroyed. You're going to have a good subwoofer, and it's going to keep beating. So guys, I hope you all got something out of this. I got a new demo coming your way I'm excited about. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Keep watching the videos, guys. I want to thank you all for watching, and take care of yourselves and each other, guys. As always, peace. Alright, guys, so welcome back. So I honestly thought today I was doing a video on the Scar SDR, but I don't have it in my possession. Somebody put it in their storage unit. So I'm gonna do the video today on a Sundown audio instead. This is the E12, kind of similar in to the SDR sorta, in like power consumption wise. I'm gonna use two different amplifiers. I'm gonna use the Taramps HD3000. This is a D2. The Scar was a D2 also, wired to 1 ohm. This is going to be wired to 1 ohm. And my goal is, today I'm going to show you, between the box rise, I'm going to show you box rise. I'm going to show you what it actually runs at on the amplifier. And then I'm going to swap amplifiers. And I want to show you what clean power is, and then running dirty power, maybe even clipping. So I don't know what's gonna happen. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. I got a comment from somebody saying that my SDR12 wasn't taking this much power, and that their SDR15 was running on a 750 watt amplifier, and it was taking so much, it was beating the heck out of the subwoofer. And my best guess is that they had the gain up and they had their bass boost up on the amplifier, or they had their bass boost up on the head unit, on their radio. So using an amplifier that's underpowered or around their RMS power works perfectly fine. You're going to find that when you use an amplifier that has less power, that you're going to end up turning the gain up and you're going to end up turning the bass up, and that could end up clipping your speaker. And that's what you don't want to do. That's why getting an amplifier that has more power is more preferred, or that's what you should use, an amplifier that has more power than you need. Because then you can turn the amplifier down, you can turn your bass boost down. You don't need all that stuff to make your subwoofer move at the same rate that it would be moving on the other amplifier that doesn't have enough power. Okay, so we're going to get started here, and I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to use the two cameras. I'm going to run one on the dyno, and I'm going to run one on the subwoofer, and we're going to see what we do. Alright, we'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Alright, guys, so welcome back. So I just want to say, we're going to do a little recap here. So first of all, my dad has some plaques right here behind me. I don't know if you can see them. I'll turn the camera a teeny bit. For talking to the world. He has several plaques from different bands of ham radio. And I would like to add my plaque from YouTube up on the wall next to his. That would be totally awesome. I feel like he's with me here all the time with you guys doing this. I have his Air Force uniform right there. Several other things of my dad's hanging around here. He's right there on my board looking at me all the time next to my computer. I talk to him all the time in my car. So I feel like he's here with me doing this all the time with you guys. And I would love to be able to put my plaque of accomplishment from YouTube up on the wall with him, and so we can be up there together. That would be awesome, guys. So if you guys can help me get there to do that, we're doing a great job right now doing that. So we'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. Alright, guys, so if we saw what happened there with the clean power from the Taramps, I felt like it could have been taking that power all day long and hitting them notes and banging away like that all day. Now, when I switched over to the Power Acoustic amplifier, it was still beating hard, it sounded good, it sounded okay, but you could definitely hear just the intensity of the hits and the way it sounded as it came through the box, that it wasn't as powerful, it wasn't the same intensity. You could definitely tell the difference. Not only that, but the Power Acoustic heated up the subwoofer, and I think I played the Taramps more than I played the Power Acoustic, and I kept stopping the Power Acoustic to check if the voice coil was getting hot, how it was doing, because I felt like I was smelling, maybe it was my brain, but I felt like I was smelling voice coil, and when you're in a house, you can really smell it. It's a lot more intense than when you're outside or in your car, or, you know, if you have your window open, whatever, in your car, you can smell it a lot more in your house. It's a lot more intense. And I was feeling like I could smell the subwoofer cooking. I did end up testing it several times with just a regular thermometer, and it actually came up almost 106 degrees. And when I played the Taramps and it was hitting almost 1,813 watts, it was still bone cold. The voice coil was just cold. So you could tell that I was giving it dirty power, and that's the difference between having an amplifier giving your subwoofer good, clean power, and your amplifier turned up, the gain turned up, the bass boost turned up. So it's doing virtually the same thing as the more powerful amplifier, but it's not really doing the same thing. You're giving it dirty power. And I gotta go back and look at the SMD and see if it clipped at all. But I felt like it was clipping a lot. And coming through, getting that heat, and the way that it was getting hot like that, that tells me that something was wrong and I was giving it dirty power, which is clipping. So either way, whether the light came on or not, I think, and I'm pretty sure it was clipping the subwoofer and giving it dirty power. So that's the difference, guys, between giving your subwoofer clean power and giving it dirty power. Having an amplifier that's not as powerful and having an amplifier that has plenty of power to spare. So guys, I hope you guys all got something out of this video. I enjoyed doing it as always. I enjoyed talking with you guys. I hope to see you guys around. I have over 1,100 videos going on 1,200 videos, over 150 different subwoofer demos, well over 100 different amplifier demos. So go check those out, guys. I appreciate you guys watching everything. Take care of yourselves and each other, guys. Peace. Alright, guys, welcome back. So, we got the Taramps HD on the Sundown right now. I'm going to start it off slow and see where we go. It's wired to 1 ohm. I told you guys that. So this can be a multi-video too. Like, what should you wire your subwoofer at? 4 ohms, 2 ohms, 1 ohm, what's better? I say all the time, wire as low as you can go, because your subwoofer's not running at whatever you wire it to. Wire it to 1 ohm, it's not running at 1 ohm, guys. It's gonna run at 2 ohms, 3 ohms, 4 ohms, maybe even higher, who knows. I just did that MTX yesterday. The MTX is a 4 ohm sub. It was running up to 22, almost 23 ohms. So go figure. Alright, let's get this on with here. Alright, I'm going to start off a little slow. We'll see where we go here. I can't say it's really slow. Alright, so we're running 1.5 to 4 ohms about. It might drop when I raise the volume. See how much power we're getting here. Now I believe this is 500 watts RMS, 1,000 max. Alright, let's see what we got here. Usually one bump gives it a lot of power. There's about 500 watts there. So that was about RMS. Yeah, that's really pushing the sub right now too. 549 I saw there. Let's see what we got. $527. I'm gonna try to turn the amp up a teeny bit here. I didn't see what we got there. So let me go on dyno mode here. Go on dyno mode and see what we got. There's 442, 2.4 ohms. Still at 442, 455. $490, 2.2 ohms. Still at 490. Right, I think that's the halfway mark, so I'm gonna back this up. Let's see here. There we go. Alright, I think I'm gonna turn the amp up a little teeny bit more, see if we can take a little bit more. Let me just pause this real quick. I want to see if it's it's not even warm at all. Alright, let me give it a little bit more. There's a little bit more I gave it. Still at that 490 mark, 2.2 ohms. 158, 1.8 ohms. I'm gonna try to turn the amp up a little bit more. I want to see what it does here. 423, 4.4 ohms. Wow. Alright. Here's a little bit more on the amp. 502 we got. 545. Nope, nothing for you. 545, 3.1 ohms. Let's see. Come on. That didn't take the cake right there? Alright, I'm going to try to back this down a little bit. I'm going to give it another volume. 554, 3.8 ohms. I think this is going to be too much. Wow. Holy crap. I don't know if you saw that movement there. 1,625 watts. Woo! Okay. I don't know if we clipped there or not. I don't know what happened. I don't see any clipping going on. Wow. Okay, so it's getting nice clean power right now. 2.5 ohms. 1,682 watts. It's phenomenal. Wow. Right. See what we got here. Oh, let me go back here. There we go. Wow. 944 right there. 2.8 ohms. 1249, 2.8 ohms. As soon as I look at it, it changes up on me. 1691. I think that might be a new record. 1,691 watts. Woo! All right, now we're gonna try to attempt this same thing. We're going to use both amplifiers here, the Taramps and the Power Acoustic. Wow. All right, I think we proved our point there. 1,813 watts. Let me just see if this is warm. Still not even warm. Let me just let the song finish playing out here, see what we got. 1,813 watts. That's insane. Wow, this thing's moving like crazy too. Wow. Look at that thing go. You can get on this right here so you guys can see this. You gotta see this. Wow. All right. I think that's that. Woo! That was insane. All right, guys, so we're gonna call that a day on that. 1,813 watts. 2.4 ohms. All right, so we'll be right back, guys. We're gonna get on with the other test, see how the Power Acoustic does. I don't know how I'm gonna put these on the video, but we'll be right back, guys. Alrighty, guys, welcome back. So I'm doing the test today. We're gonna do one on a lower powered amplifier that's questionable on how much power it's gonna put out. I wanna see if it's gonna clip the sub, give it dirty power. I'm actually gonna try to give it dirty power and see what we get and see what we do. See how much power we can get. Now I'm doing the Power Acoustic Razor RZR1 2500D Power Acoustic and the Taramps HD 3000. The subwoofer's wired at 1 ohm. I didn't change anything. I'm going to play the same exact song. It plays basically bursts of tones over and over. Different bursts of tones over and over. Alright, so let's get into it. Let's see what this amplifier does. I am going to try turning things up, turning them down. The same thing I do with both amplifiers. I'm going to try to get at the peak, whatever I can. And let's see where we end up.
Oh my god, that sounded like a bass boost.
Hey! Okay, quiet day. Alright, let's see what we're doing here. Alright, we're around 200 watts. So I know that this sub can take well over 1,500 watts easily.
You want to get another wad, you want to get a wad there in the middle, and that's what
You got here. Give it one more. Alright, it's giving good power. Alright, no clipping going on. So it looks like it's doing okay. I think I might have to try another amplifier on this. A little less power to get my goal done. Alright, I just want to touch the speaker, see if it's alright. It's not warm. on dyno power and see what we get. Alright, let's try it here. See what we got. 13. Oh, come on. That's not true. So 614 watts at 2.2 ohms on the Power Acoustic 2500. Yeah. Now that could be true. 884, that could be true. I just want to. So now the voice coil is getting a little bit warm here. So I think we're about clipping. Something's going on here that it's getting warm because it wasn't getting warm like that with the Taramps.
Because you will have situations. I think that's going to be the.
I gotta say, it's beating the crap out of it. I'm gonna have to go back and check the.
Yeah, some people won't be at the cooking station.
Alright, let's see if we can get a temp on it.
Yeah, it happens now a lot. A little too much.
So it's reading 96.8 degrees.
Set a timer for 15.
37 degrees, 36.8. Now this is centigrade. 37 degrees centigrade.
It's not. So you don't have to.
Let's see what 37 degrees centigrade is here. 37 degrees centigrade. 98.6. So 98.6 degrees, that's how hot. And it's still warm right now, and I've had it off for a few minutes here. Alright, so we're gonna try to bump it up one more here. Actually, I'm not gonna bump it up one more. I think that's really about the limit. Unless I can turn up the amplifier. So let me try that. I'm gonna turn this. I have to move this for a second. There we go. That's perfect anyways. Alright. Let's see. I'm going to do this while I have you guys on here. I'm not going to do anything. Alright. Wish I could see. Boost. I'm guessing the end one is gain. Where's my screwdriver here? There we go. Alright, now it's already pretty high. I'm just going to turn it up a tad. Just a tad. Alright, let's see what we got here. We're going to go back. Alright. Reset the dyno. 79. Woo! Now you can hear the difference between the sound. This doesn't sound as strong and as powerful as the Taramps was either. It is beating. I gotta say that. It is putting out some air, really putting out some air. Nothing's changing on the dyno there. Try to... Seems like we're getting about the same numbers. gonna have to go back and check this and see if it clipped at all too. All right, I'm gonna go roundabout here, go back to live power. I don't know if it'll show clipping in dyno mode. I've never tried that. So we got it on live power here. And I'm gonna let it run right here. Now I did turn it up a little teeny bit. 684 we got there. Alright, let's check it out. Oh yeah, it's getting much hotter. Let's try it out now. Come on, I gotta get a laser temp saying non. There we go. Now we're reading. Oh, we're hot. 105.6. 105.6 temperature. And it's been off for a minute too. So it is pretty hot. Alright, so I think I proved my temperature there anyways. On the clean power from the Taramps. Well, let's just come back with that, alright? We'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere.